Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 20th of January and we are going to deal with two very important topics which are in news. The first is that why Kashmir and Ladakh are without snow currently. The snowfall in these, I would say, hill states of India is almost zero this year. There has been an 80% deficit of rainfall in Jammu and Kashmir in December and 100% deficit in January till now. Scientists have identified the weak western disturbances which bring rains to India. Owing to the global rising temperatures, there can be a probable link between global warming and these weakening of western disturbances. And the second reason highlighted by the scientists is the El Nino. This absence of snowfall is going to have negative repercussions for the entire region. The horticultural crops like apple and all, they will be impacted because the snow brings moisture to the soil that will not be available. Tourism will be impacted. Water in the streams and rivers will be impacted, which will be impacting hydroelectricity generation as well as drinking water availability. So things need to be built up on ground so that these impacts can be minimized. Obviously, we cannot, alter the weather to bring snowfall, but yes, we can prepare ourselves better for this kind of situation. The next is China's population decline. China's population has declined for 3 years straight in a row. And this decline can be attributed to the one-child policy of China, which started in 1980 and withdrawn in 2016. But apart from that one-child policy of China, other factors like rising education, particularly among women, which gives them rights to choose whether they want to go for pregnancy or not. The rising costs of living, which includes the rising cost of education for the kids, force the parents to, give birth to less number of children. Generally, people in China are now happy with one child. They also have this pressure of meeting the demands of the society, getting a job and all, which is getting difficult in China because China's economy is plateauing. So all these reasons have become, I would say, the factors behind the China's declining population. We as a country have now surpassed China in terms of population to become the world's most populous country according to multiple estimates. But we should do the learnings from China. Whatever problems China is facing, we should not face these kind of problems in the future. That is why we are covering this topic. Now let's get started with the first topic, that why Kashmir and Ladakh are without snow currently. Now when I talk about this region, there are multiple tourist spots over there which are active only due to snowfall. And apart from tourism, this snowfall brings a lot of I would say benefits to the people over there. It adds moisture to the soil, helping in horticulture products like apple or saffron. Kashmir is known for this. It gives regular supply of water to the streams and rivers, means there will be ample availability of water for hydroelectricity generation as well as drinking water. It will also, impact the local economy. Tourism, horticulture products and all will definitely have an impact on the economy. So snowfall is very much important for this region. But unfortunately, this year, this region has not witnessed snowfall as of now. Snowfall in the Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir region has been showing a declining trend since recent years. This season is remarkable. Why this season is remarkable? Because the rainfall deficit is the highest. Winter precipitation, means winter rainfall in Jammu and Kashmir as also Ladakh, is mainly in the form of snowfall. Normally the region gets its first snowfall in the first half of December and then through the most of January. But it has been mostly dry this season. For January, to 100% deficit. Not even once it has rained or snowed. The deficit, Jammu and Kashmir saw 80% rainfall deficit in December. 100% absolutely no rain deficit in January. Whereas if I talk about Ladakh region, Ladakh has had no precipitation at all in December or January, means 100% deficit. Ladakh also is in the rain shadow region. So in the rain shadow region, rainfall is scanty. And here it is zero this time. That is a cause of concern. Impact areas of this I would say snowfall. Reduction in tourism. One such is this. Expected 60% decline in tourism according to the estimates. It is crucial for the local climate. Local climate is impacted. Like Srinagar, if I tell you, in some days Srinagar is warmer than Delhi in winters, this winter. We've seen that. Winter crops and horticulture may be impacted since less availability of soil moisture will be there. Then availability of water in streams and rivers, that will be impacted. This will reduce because this gets a constant supply from the snow. The glaciers will melt down. With the absence of snow, they will not retain themselves or build up, and hence this availability of water in the streams will reduce. This reduced availability in the streams can cause drinking water problems in Kashmir, and hydroelectricity generation in Kashmir may also be impacted. Is there this potential of hydroelectricity generation in Kashmir? Yes, a lot. Ratle hydroelectric power projects, Baglia hydroelectric power projects, all these are hydroelectric power projects on the Indus river systems, means Indus and its tributaries. So Kishan Ganga hydroelectric power project, Kishan Ganga is a tributary of Jhelum. So they all may be impacted. Reasons why there is scanty snowfall or no rainfall as such. Broadly, there are two reasons. First is a decline in western disturbances. Now, western disturbances bring rain into India in the winter months in northern part of India. Bringing rain in India, there are three ways in which rainfalls happens. First is the southwest monsoon. Second is the northeast monsoon. Southwest monsoon, June till September. The monsoon season we know, which creates rain all over India almost. Northeast monsoon is the receding monsoon, which brings rains in this Tamil Nadu region. This happens in October, November. And the western disturbances. With gather moisture from the Mediterranean Sea, and west of Mediterranean Sea here is basically the Atlantic Ocean. From here also moisture is gathered as far as this, and this moisture is shed by these western disturbances in the northern plains of. This western disturbance has become weak this year. Now with El Nino set in July last year 2023, and we have started 2024 with an El Nino already in place. This is also going to be weaker this year, southwest monsoon, and since this will be weaker, this will also be weaker. So El Nino will create an overall impact on reduced rainfall, and it is believed by the scientists that one of the reasons is prevailing El Nino, which is causing less rainfall and which has impacted rainfall apart from western disturbances in Jammu and Kashmir region or the northern part of India. So decline in western disturbances and gradual rise in temperatures. It is not 100% proven abhi, but yes, the scientists are saying that decline in western disturbances from the recent past, many years we've seen reduced rainfall, and that reduced rainfall was due to reduced, I would say, western disturbances, can be attributed to global warming or climate change. So we are considering this global warming or climate change along with western disturbances, reduction in western disturbances, and the second factor we are considering is El Nino. What is El Nino? We will see abhi. Now the western disturbances, winter precipitation in Himalayan region is mainly by western disturbance. These are large eastward moving rain bearing wind system. Mediterranean Sea, here is the Atlantic Ocean, western side of Africa. Okay. From here also the winds gather moisture. These are eastward flowing winds from the western side, and that is why, since they are coming from the western side, from west to east they are flowing, they will be called as western disturbances. that originate beyond Afghanistan and Iran, picking up moisture from as far as the Mediterranean Sea and even the Atlantic Ocean. Western disturbances are primary source of rainfall over the north and northwestern India during the winter months. This is basically the scene with this. Now the decline in western disturbances. This has been there and that has been the primary reason why there is decline in rainfall. During winters, about 4 to 6 western disturbance events happen every month on an average. This season there was one feeble western disturbance event, only one, and that too feeble means very weak in December, that did not bring any rains as such, and another similar one in January. So it did not bring rains because this was weak. Western disturbances have been showing a declining trend in recent times. In some years, we have seen just 2 or 3 events in a month when normally 5 or 6 are expected. Because of this, the overall precipitation during the winter months in the northern region has also been declining, and this has been stated by Mr. A.P. Dimri. He is an atmospheric scientist in India. Rising temperatures. The other connected thing is that temperatures in these regions are rising. The rate of increase of temperature is seen to be higher in the upper elevation areas than in the plains. The rate of increase is higher in upper areas. Now, this kind of statement based questions can come in UPSC prelims, that rate of increase of temperatures is higher in upper reaches as compared to the lower regions in the mountains or in India. Similarly, if I take the entire earth, rate of increase of temperatures in the poles is the highest. So that these facts you need to look into. In fact, look at the temperatures in Kashmir this winter. On many days, Srinagar temperatures are comparable to those of Delhi. Sometimes they appear to be even higher than Delhi's temperature. So this rising temperature can be linked to weakening of western disturbances, but yes, highly probable right now. It is not factually proven, but many studies point towards this. The next is El Nino. Now El Nino, what is El Nino? This is India. This is the equator. Now the easterly is flowing on the equator, and when the sun is over here in the summer months over the Tropic of Cancer passes through Gujarat. So let us create like this. A low pressure zone is created over here which attracts these winds. These winds become southwest monsoon and bring rains. Now in El Nino what happens? This is North America, this is South America, this is Pacific Ocean. The western coast of South America over here, warm current accumulates. 100% of the reasons are not known for this, but yes, warm current accumulates after every 4 or 5 years. And since this warm current accumulates, it creates high temperature like situations. High temperature means low pressure. So a low pressure is here, a low pressure is here. These winds, instead of getting attracted by this low pressure, get attracted by this low pressure. And excessive rainfall is over here and deficit rainfall is over here, or less rainfall is over here. Now this El Nino is also attributed to less snowfall or rainfall in Kashmir this year. Okay. So we are entering 2024 with an El Nino in place. We can expect less rainfall from the southwest monsoon this year, less rainfall from the northeast monsoon this year, and less rainfall from the western disturbances also this year we are already experiencing. However, in today's newspaper I could see not in today's newspaper, but yes, on the social media today morning I saw that a snow town in Uttarakhand named Oli, it is a ski resort, means skiing happens over there. It has got snowfall yesterday, or I think yesterday night or something like this has happened over there. So if snow has fallen in Oli in Uttarakhand, maybe yahan pe bhi, it gets inaugurated, means snow will be there. Next is China's population decline. China's population declined for second year in a row. The year 2023 saw 11.1 million deaths and 9 million births. Deaths are more than the births, marking the second year in which the country's total population has reduced. In the same year, India overtook China. It is estimated to be the world's most populous country. The total population of China stood at 1.4 billion and India's it is estimated 1.41 billion. Now, since the census is not out, we cannot 100% say it. Now, to understand this situation better, we need to understand two things. One is total fertility rate and second is replacement levels. Total fertility rate. What is the total fertility rate? It is basically nothing but the number of children a woman on average is expected to give birth to in her lifetime. In her lifetime means in her reproductive age group, because she'll be only able to give birth to children in reproductive age group, that is 15 to 49 years. So, in her reproductive age group, in her lifetime means how many children she will give birth to or she is giving birth to. That is known as total fertility rate. If she is giving birth to 2 children, then TFR is 2. If she is giving birth to 1 child, then TFR is 1. As simple as that. Okay. And this TFR has been falling in China due to various reasons. Reasons we will see abhi aage. Okay. Now, another important concept here is that of replacement rate or replacement levels, we call it. Replacement rate or replacement level is that rate of population growth in which the older generation is being replaced by the younger generation. Now, a couple, a husband and wife, if they are having 2 kids, these 2 kids are going to replace them in the future. Replacement levels are reached, we say. But if this couple is having only 1 kid, then replacement levels will not be met, because that 1 kid will only be replacing one of the parent will still not be replaced. If this couple is having 3 kids, then we can say that replacement levels are breached. Breached means 3 people will be replacing 2 people, obviously population will be increasing a lot in the future. So, replacement levels will only happen when total fertility rate is 2. We need to interconnect these. Okay. China's TFR according to its 2020 census was 1.3 births per woman, marginally up from 1.2 in 2010 and 2000 census, but way below the replacement levels of 2 or 2.1. We generally keep it 2.1 because infant mortality rate is there, where infants die after getting born, things like these are there. So, we consider it 2.1 on an average. Now, the declining TFR of China, you can see TFR of China was between 4 to 5 in 1960. It went up between 7 and 8 in the mid 1960s and it then started dropping. From 1980 onwards, there was this one child policy. Where a couple was allowed to have only 1 child, and if the couple had more than 1 child, then there was rigorous I would say punishment for that couple. So, that was it. But China implemented this one child policy in 1980. But you see that the fertility rate started declining before that. Was there a need? Because fertility rate already started declining. It was kind of a coercive methodology or coercive method which China adopted. Now, this coerciveness was there, so people were definitely going for reducing the total fertility rate after this, and it was finally in 2016 when this one child policy was removed. But after that also, the total fertility rate kept on declining after removing the one child policy, because by that time people were becoming aware, educated and all, and whenever education levels rise, birth rate reduces. So, this has been the story of China's population till now. The one child policy introduced in 1980, it restricted couples to have only 1 child or face harsh penalties. The background, failure of radical policy of the Mao government. The radical policy was the great leap forward. This was, I would say, a policy initiated in the late 1950s aimed at increasing the productive capacities of China, increasing productivity, but this turned out to be a great failure. A lot of people died out of starvation, and this policy was called back or rolled back by the Chinese government. And when this policy was rolled back, many people died. After this rollback of this policy, there was a sudden surge in population growth in China, because people realized one thing, that a lot of people have lost their lives, a lot of family members have lost their life, so it is better to have more family members. By the 1970s, several 5-year plans from the government saw mention of reducing birth rate, and the concept was widely promoted also. And that is why in the last slide you saw that in the 1970s the TFR started declining. Even there were at some point of time there were coercion methods involved. But yes, without coercion methods also the birth rate started declining. The slogan at that time was later, longer and fewer. Later marriage, longer gap between two children, and fewer number of children. This was being promoted as a slogan, like in our country we have hum do hamare do, bacche do hi acche. In the 1970s this slogan was promoted in China. TFR fell in this decade, which we saw in the last slide. 1970s, this is 1970, 1980, TFR started falling. But in 1980, I don't know what wisdom struck them, and they actually implemented this one-child policy. One-child policy further led to the decline of TFR, and that was a coercive method. And 2016, the one-child policy officially ended. Chinese were allowed to have 2 children. This was increased to 3 children in 2021. However, this has not helped achieve the goal of population growth. Now though the Chinese are like ki 1 child is enough for us. Other factors: increasing education levels among the Chinese. Women's education and employment allow them to make choices about their reproductive health, and when women are educated, birth rates will be reduced. This is a direct correlation. High pressures of modern society with increasing competition for jobs, and since China's economy is stagnating, so this demand cannot be met, so people think ki bhai produce less children, it would be good. Late marriages: Chinese have delayed their marriages. They are going for increasing studies and all, settling down and then getting married, which is also delaying the births. High cost of living: couples are preferring 1 child due to high cost of education and overall living. So they feel that chota parivar sukhi parivar means a small family, a happy family. So this is what the Chinese have now started to think. Now the government has relaxed this one-child policy, but the Chinese themselves, they are not going for reproduction. Now the president of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, was quite concerned about this particular decline as well, and he in an interview was stated saying that we need to understand sustainably the importance of family. We need to sustainably grow our family. If we do not grow our family, then this will hamper the overall development of the Chinese civilization. Because if people will not be there, domestic demand who will create? That is something which has to be considered. And economic development is definitely linked with population growth. This had been proven time and again by the demographic transition theory also. So this needs to be understood in a clear and fair manner, and that is why this is not happening. Now impact on China: it has created a vicious cycle. Vicious cycle means an economic slowdown in China should mean young couples delay having children, because they are fearful of losing their jobs, or they are fearful that in this environment of lowering or reducing economic growth, whether we should go for procreating or not. The resulting decline in fertility rates eventually pushes the economy's productivity rates lower. Now if the fertility rates come down, the demand will come down. Demand will come down, the productivity will not happen. So economy going down, fertility rate going down. Fertility rate going down, demand going down, economic activity going down. So it is kind of a vicious cycle which has been created. Then reduction in working age population. Population between 15 to 59 years, which is generally considered as working age population, has been reducing, has now fallen to 61% of the total population, and India, we have 70% of the population in working age group, 15 to 59, which is the highest in the world. Population aging is happening. Population aging is a phenomenon where substantial proportion of your population is in the aged group, means non-working age group above 60. So it has increased in China. And when it has increased, so there is increased pressure on the government also to cater to the demands of the elderly. Demands of elderly means you need to have more, I would say, pension facilities for them, healthcare facilities for them. On top of that, life expectancy is also increasing. Life expectancy is the average number of years you live. So above 60 years, since overall life expectancy is increasing, let's suppose earlier the life expectancy was 70 years, now the life expectancy is 80 years. So on an average, 80 years is the, I would say, lifespan of an individual in China. For example, I'm saying, now above 60 years till 80 years, that person has to be taken care of for 20 years. So life expectancy is increasing, the burden on government is increasing to cater to the needs of the elderlies. If the government does not step in, then the young population will be taking care of them, because that above 60 population are the dependents upon the young ones. So dependency will increase in China. Life expectancy has also increased for both men and women over the time as a result of advanced healthcare systems, which is causing more pressure on this aged population in China. So these are the impacts on China, or what China is facing right now. And with this, we have come to an end of today's session. I will be meeting you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.